Today, I have to talk about a subject that I've really been avoiding talking about, but I have to, which is land. Land scamming here in Gambia. Oh my gosh. If I was to write down every land scam that I've heard of while I've lived here in Gambia, I would run out of ink. Welcome back to my channel. For those of you that are new here, I am Zandela, and this channel is all about my journey of moving myself and my family from living in London, UK, over to live in West Africa, Gambia. I have to talk about a subject that I've really been avoiding talking about, but I have to, which is land scamming here in Gambia. Oh my God. It is just so frustrating, so complicated, so exhausting. I just don't know where to start. Ooh. Land is such a big problem here in Gambia, and all of us from the diaspora, we want to purchase a plot of land so that we have an asset in the country that we have decided to go and live in. But so many people are being scammed out of their money. I am talking about not simple things like people purchasing land from abroad, they're not quite here yet, and the people run off with their money. That is just the most basic land scam. I'm talking about estate agents that are buying land and then reselling it to multiple different people. I'm talking about people who have built their houses on plots of land. That means that they've had that plot of land long enough to go through all of the checks with physical planning. They've built houses on there. They're living in those houses, only to find out someone comes back into the country who's been gone for the past 10 years and they actually own the same plot of land and they have the official paperwork from physical planning. That is two people that physical planning have actually given the official transfer documents for. Honestly, land scamming here and land conflicts, land problems here are just endless. And finally, the government have decided that they're actually going to do something about it. I want to play a quick clip because the subject of land in Gambia has become a hot topic at the moment.
Agencies in this country, their executive unit. Day before yesterday, I received a lady, civil servant, came to my office, said, "Minister, I want to see you." Say, "You don't have an appointment." Say, I don't think I need an appointment, Mr. Minister. I understand nobody gets appointment coming to you. I want to see you. She insisted on seeing me, and I saw her. She gave me a paper. Her mother, her father, her brother, all the money they had in life, they bought a piece of land from an agent that can never show them where the land is. All their savings went in vain. Immediately, I ordered the estate agencies executive to come and meet me the next day. We met them yesterday and I've given directives. We cannot wait for the law. We'll put in regulation to regulate them. From Monday, they are starting to, I'm giving them 2 weeks to produce lead for data, and we will deal with them according to law. We cannot let that continue in this country. Scamming people, taking money, selling land that does not belong to you, will end. Why? When someone sold you land that does not belong to you, him or her, you are never taken to court. Why in this country? Why? You rob people of their saving in their life, and then you go scot-free in the streets. Why those families continue to languish in poverty and dismay? That would end. And I've told them I want the regulation in 2 weeks. We'll gazette them and we'll reinforce them in court of law. They will be dealt with. Whilst we will, during our World Bank conference, I've seen what other countries have done. I've told them we will conduct a study, we'll send them for study to go, compare, and we try to establish a law in this country to protect the consumers at every level. There must be rule of law in a country. We cannot allow people to be breaking the law and get away with it. And let me tell you that the sad story you will discover. 80% of all our cases in the courts are on land. Will you believe that? You know why? Everybody who has the car, I'm not referring to you, want to be in the land business as lawyers. And let me tell you, one of the biggest grabbers of land in this country, count members of the legal fraternity. Now, let me tell you the second thing. They will talk about human rights when somebody is arrested. They will insult the government. You are doing this human right violation. When our land is being robbed, they never utter a word about it. A non-formal media will be adopted to get everybody on board on the formulation of the national land policy that we all own. Special efforts will be taken to ensure diaspora participation in the policy formulation in order to further enrich the national discourse, views and voices on the land policy. Formulating an inclusive, gender-sensitive national land policy. Number 2, conducting systematic demarcation and land registration. Number 3, establishing a digital land information system. Number 4, formulating a land use plan.
Now that you've watched that clip, I actually want to give my honest opinion about land and land scamming. So, firstly, people ask me, is it safe to buy land in Gambia? And I want to say yes, it is relatively safe to buy land if you make sure that you are doing all of your checks properly. I mean, go into physical planning, actually getting a technician to come to the plot of land that you want to buy. They put a GPS tracking thing on the actual ground where they are standing. Go back to the office and print off a report about that plot. They can then tell you if that plot of land is owned by multiple people, who it's owned by, is it agriculture land, is it residential land, is it commercial land. They can give you a full report, but you have to pay a technician to go onto the ground and do that for you. If you do those checks, immediately after that, you need to introduce yourself to the local Akalo, the person who is in charge of making sure that you have your local transfer. You need to let them know who you are. And also, you need to get a solicitor involved and also make sure that the Akalo knows your solicitor. When you go to meet the Akalo, if the Akalo does not speak English, try and make sure that you have an interpreter that you personally know, not an interpreter from the land seller, not the land seller translating what the Akalo is actually saying to you. Make sure that you have someone who you trust who can speak to you in English and let you know what is happening in the conversation. Once you have done all your relative checks, you need to make sure that your solicitor writes out some sort of purchase agreement. There needs to be an agreement in place that is witnessed by the solicitor so that if anything happens in the future, you can always fall back on the professional to make sure that they follow the case through and try to avoid you getting scammed. However, there are people here in the country who did do all their due diligence. There are multiple cases of people whose land still managed to be sold to multiple people by actual estate agents. A lot of the cases that are in the court at the moment are actually cases where an estate agent sold plots of land to multiple people. So, unfortunately, in my honest opinion, if it's your luck, it's your luck. I don't know what else to say about land scamming in particular. If you do all of your due diligence, it is very likely that you are going to avoid a land scam. Make sure that you do not, I repeat, do not trust the estate agent to cover everything for you, to do all the checks for you. And do not trust the actual landowner or the person who is saying that they are responsible for that land. You have to do the work yourself to make sure that you are comfortable with the decision that you are making to purchase that plot of land. Another question that I get asked about is land affordable in Gambia? And in my opinion, it is definitely affordable for someone who is living abroad. So if you live in the US or you live in Europe, anywhere, your money can go a lot further here in Gambia. So you can buy a plot of land that is in a location like Gunjur or Sanyang. You can buy that for 4,000, 5,000, up to around 8, 9,000 pounds, depending on the size. A typical 2020 plot of land will probably be between 5,000 and 7,000 pounds, depending on where that plot of land is located from the main highway. However, if you wanted to buy a plot of land down in Bigelow, Kotu, Kololi, which is the Senegambia kind of area, then you could be looking at £30,000, £40,000, all the way up to £100,000, just depending on where the location is positioned within the main tourist area. So, yes, land is relatively cheap, again, if you have an income that is from abroad. However, land prices here have skyrocketed. I met a man the other day who wanted to sell his plot of land, and he purchased his plot of land for £9,000 6 years ago. Now he's selling that plot of land for £35,000. So just in 6 years, the land price has gone from 9,000 to £35,000, which is just a massive, massive inflation on land. If you ask me about land prices when it comes to the local community, I think it is absolutely unaffordable. And we as the diaspora, we are to blame for this increase in the land prices happening so drastically, because we have come here and we have purchased plots of land because we want to have our small little bit of ownership of Africa and our assets. So in the future, we have something that belongs to us. However, local people who are on a typical Gambian income, it is just absolutely not affordable for them to purchase plots of land. Another question that I am asked quite a lot is, what areas should you buy land? So as the diaspora community are coming here more and more and more, the typical locations that people are buying plots of land is in the Brufut, after Brufut. So you have Brufut, then you have Tanjay, you have Batakunku and Sanyang, Samboyang. Those areas are very, very popular for the diaspora community, and a lot of people have purchased land there and have actually built their houses and are living quite comfortably and safe there. So, what can you do if you actually want to buy a plot of land and you are not living in Gambia, or you are living in Gambia? So, the first thing that you can do if you see a plot of land that you are interested in is go down to the physical planning department and actually hire yourself a technician that will be allocated to you from the director or someone quite senior in physical planning. They will let you know, is it in a conflict zone, is it in a is it in TDA, which is tourist development area, or is it in a Gambian only area where diaspora people cannot purchase that plot of land? Before you've given any money over to the seller, you need to appoint a solicitor. You need to make sure that you have a solicitor before you exchange any kind of money. Don't be fooled. Don't want to miss this opportunity because this plot of land is being sold for a really great price because it may be Eid or Tabaski and the family members want the money. Don't be fooled by that. Land is always available for sale. There are always people who have land for many years in their family and they just want to sell off a small portion of that land to raise some money. So please don't be scared that you're going to miss a great opportunity when it comes to purchasing land. Please do consider that with this new reform that the government are putting in place, that the entire land process is subject to actually change. I do know that they will be digitalizing it and it will no longer be paper based, but that could take years to do. So please make sure that you are just keeping up to date on the purchase of land if it is something that you want to do here in Gambia. So that's it, guys. Thank you for watching this video. Please do not forget to like and subscribe. And if the content of this video is useful to you or anybody that you know, please do not forget to share. Bye.